My dad always said that if you're having a bad day, it'll go away within 15 minutes if you're on the back of a horse. I've definitely had my days or my moments, and just finding the courage to catch a horse and put a saddle on and go off has definitely helped me in more ways than I can count.
If everybody rodeoed, there'd be a lot better people in this world.
There's gonna be adversity, so it's a matter of how are you handling this adversity?
It's intense. You have to learn to ride with the injuries.
I've had 5 shoulder surgeries. You see broken bones.
Dislocated my thumb to the point where it was like a couple inches longer than the other one. It got caught in a rope, and I had a rope snap back and hit me right in the eye, and now I cannot see out of that eye.
And then you gotta turn right back around and do it again the next day.
The thing about rodeo is no matter how much you may want to, at times you can't do it alone. You want me to grab you a string?
LJ's
up there, yes, please.
Thing first.
So Huron's a decently small town in South Dakota, and we are the home of the world's largest pheasant. Go us. My parents moved there about a year before I was born, and one of the first things that my dad built was the arena. I have 3 older siblings. They all rodeoed, and I really even kind of learned to ride just hopping on my dad's horses in a saddle that was too big just because I was anxiously waiting for my turn.
You get bucked off, you get back on. Mom and Dad were always out in the arena. Dad came from the rodeo background. Mom didn't, but Mom was always there writing times down, making sure you had a big water jug she carried around with ice and snacks. You know, Mom found her niche.
Rodeo started turning on for me, and then it just clung to me, and nothing else I was as passionate about.
Jacey had a pretty amazing career in high school and college. She made the Senior Far 5 times, was a reserve national champion goat tire. She was one of the best in that event.
There's a brand new leader of the nation, and she's a freshman from South Dakota.
Remember what rodeo were we at? So you stepped off your horse, cracked your heel, won the round, and we taped it up and did some stuff and went on to the next round. I'm like, only Jacey.
You know, Jacey, as the youngest, she was able to kind of keep exceeding expectations, and it seemed like we would set a bar and then Jacey would exceed it. And what Mom and Dad did is they supplied us the tools, the resources. So the arena was here, the horses were here, so you guys go make the most of it.
You know, it's one of those days about the accident. It's a day you never want to think of coming and how it goes.
My parents were watching my 2 nephews and my baby niece Harper while my brother and his wife were at work. And through a house explosion, my parents and my niece Harper passed away, but my 2 nephews, by the grace of God, survived it and are still here with us today.
This tragedy hit us really hard. My 2 boys, Miles and Royce, had some very scary circumstances where we were in the PICU for 6 weeks. And that was an extremely scary time. And you talk about just flipping the world upside down. But what it has done is truly give us a recognition of what we had.
My mom and dad actually knew about this job opportunity before they passed. I agreed to have an interview, and this was just over Zoom, so I was still in South Dakota. And then met everybody, and then eventually they offered me the job.
You know, the timing of the tragedy, all that we were dealing with, Mom and Dad's estate, the loss of our baby girl, and getting Miles and Royce healed up. So there was a lot going on.
And I told him, I was like, can you at least let me have the weekend? Like, I'll get back to you guys on Monday. I think my brother and I called every 12 hours. And I put pencil to paper of just pros and cons. On my drive home Sunday night, I call him crying.
I got in my pickup and I was off on myself when I was talking to Jacey, and I was crying before I even called her because I knew after I got done talking to Jacey, she was gonna take the job. And all she needed to hear was her older brother and her siblings telling her that it's okay, we got this, you go take this job and, you know, essentially follow your dreams.
It wasn't just my siblings and my family that rallied behind me, it was my whole community. My brother's high school friends, they just said, we want to do something for you guys, and put on this golf tournament. The amount of people that I know, including myself, had never golfed before that showed up to be at that was really special. And kind of the reason why I drove 600 miles to make the second annual Hupp Cup.
We're gonna have a lot of fun today. We're gonna raise some money in the process. We've identified a few families that we're gonna deploy funds to, and it's gonna be a big deal.
If you rope all three, you get 3 spots in the raffle.
Got a head, heel, and bucket?
Yep. If you'd have known my dad, he slapped our brand on everything. He was always really proud of it.
You don't have to always know looking at the brand that it's actually a piece of reminder that I wear for Mom, Dad, and Harper. But wearing the brand, seeing it, that people are proud to have it, that keeps that memory alive.
This is emotional for us, guys, and it's huge, because we were here last year. You guys all put this together for us. Some low, scary times, and you guys all stepped up and got behind us. We just want people to know they're not alone. The ability to keep fighting and keep going forward. What you guys did for us to allow us to do that, we want to help others to do that as well.
When I came to Wyoming in my very first day, when I was meeting everybody, they jumped out of their office and shook my hand.
You can tell Jacey's heart's in this and invested in our program, wanting to make our students better.
My team definitely shows up in different ways. One of the boys on the team, actually, he lost his father about 3 years ago. He texted me on Christmas and just said, I know it's your first one without your parents. And he was thinking of me, even though he was missing someone that day too.
Jacey's has built a great relationship with our student athletes. Our women's team ended up winning second in the region in a very tough region. We ended up qualifying all the top 3 breakaway ropers in the region to the CNFR, which was all 3 places in that event. Those things wouldn't have been possible without having Jacey here to assist us.
Whether that be I helped somebody, whether that was there for someone, whether I had a talk with someone that I think they needed, there is a lot of just feeling real purpose. God has a plan. I don't always appreciate his storytelling. I think home would have been harder to leave if my parents were still alive, because I had it really good.
If you look, heaven will wink at you. But there's some signs, there's some moments where I can feel them.
My dad and I were, before he passed, were like actively looking for kind of my new young horse. And we never found one together like we were kind of trying to do. And then my neighbor, he just sends me a picture of this horse. He's like, they only want such and such money for it. Should we do it? And I'm like, yep. They reached out to the owner that they knew and just said that, Jacey's loving the horse, this and that and that. And he goes, I don't know why, but I just felt the need to send you that horse in a picture because I just really wanted to bless someone with this horse. I can't help but think that was Dad helping me finally find that young one I was looking for. It hurts to not have Mom and Dad and Harper here just because we did have it so good. I mean, we were raised right. We were supported. We were loved. And we got to grow up together. I definitely wouldn't have had my rodeo career. I wouldn't be in Wyoming. I wouldn't be where I am today without these two and how we were raised and the support of our parents. And they made me who I am today.
All right. Good job.
My mom would always say, be the buffalo. Essentially what that means is don't avoid the storm, take it head on.